folks, let us just pretend that we're in the local pub. So, actually, like 6 to 8 months ago, it's just an estimate, I did go to the local pub because I thought, well, maybe I'll find friends there because I couldn't find friends in church. I could only find judgmental, cold people. And, in the bar, it was kind of the same way. In a weird way, it kind of what my brother, not my brother, but my husband was driving past me. And he saw me sitting out there on the patio. He's like, oh no, what's my wife up to now? Because I try to join every kind of church. Everybody knows, come on, Antiochian, Orthodox, Catholic. I tried to rejoin the Catholic Church. My mother left the Catholic Church. So Lutheran, I tried to rejoin the Lutheran Church and rejoin it again. And it's like people just, they don't want to have anything to do with you. What's wrong with me? Do I have like halitosis or, BO or something? I mean, I do take a shower at least once a week. It's like we have to save water. It isn't Europe, but it is America. In my town, water is very expensive, so you use deodorant. Like, I won't use obnoxious perfume. That means you're a prostitute. Oh my gosh. Seriously, I went into the local Walmart just the other day. I thought, I'm the sexiest thing on wheels. And then this woman walks in front of me, and she's like wearing heels, and she's smelling like, she smells, did you ever read Cheaper by the Dozen? Well, it was expletive deleted. Yeah, that's how, it's like, who smells like that anymore other than an old lady in a church? But anyway, there might be a commonality there. So I try to talk to somebody today. I'm like crying. It's like the tears don't move. It's not histrionics. I can't just cry on coming. But it didn't matter. That person just looked at me like with their cold fish eyes. My cats love me very much, so I wouldn't say cat eyes, but I'm not angry, but I'm a bit injured, folks. Quite honestly, if it took me many years to develop emotions, actually after having given birth to the 9th child. Mother Teresa, yes, I am the same. I gave birth to 9 children. I never once considered aborting anyone. I could have killed you in utero. You understand? You're not great. Nothing I do is good enough for you. Seriously, I gave birth to you. That should be enough. I haven't murdered like 57. I haven't murdered one person. I can't remember. Did I kill an animal? Or I couldn't even be a hunter. I couldn't kill the beautiful deer. So this is stream of consciousness right now. I went to a resort during deer hunting season, during the height of it. I know I make fun of it with, it's just my way, folks. Come on, you have to find your way to segue. You have to go between two worlds. So, I won't tell you about that, but it's the Yoopers. Alright, so, I'm driving up the little road that leads to the resort. And this beautiful buck looked at me. It's like, oh, Jesus, I've never seen a buck alive. And he had like 8 points on his antlers or something. I'm like, oh my God. It's a male deer who hasn't been slaughtered yet. He looked at me like, save me. I can't save you from the rabbit hunters, the hillbillies that live in this area, because I know I grew up in that area. Like, I would never kill an animal. I would never shoot an animal. I have chickens. Do I eat chicken? I do, but I don't know why. Maybe I'm a hypocrite. I would eat the eggs because chicks are going to lay eggs anyway, right? When that he looked at me like Jesus looked at Peter, after he denied him thrice, I'm like, oh, that's got to be a vision from God. I'm not even an American Indian, but I do wear American Indian jewelry, so maybe that means something. I do have turquoise and sterling silver. I used to have a beautiful bracelet, which is probably sold to a pawn shop a long time ago. Everything of value to me was sold by somebody in my family because they thought, well, I have to buy more lottery tickets to make more money. So I don't understand how people can be so insensitive, folks. I mean, when I cry, you're unmoved. So they say, well, you don't reveal your real feelings. So when I become angry, I'm not revealing my real feelings. When I become not angry but chagrined, you're not revealing. It's like, what's wrong with these people? Are they lost? How can you not cry? But as I said, it was just really about after the last child was born, I realized in a way my life had not turned out the way that I had best hoped that it would turn out. So I don't know how I got into this, but I started watching true crime shows, and I started actually crying for other people. Heretofore, I had only cried for anytime. I mean, I was not the kind of, my mother was certainly not the kind of person that would ever cry for anybody else, or my father, I never saw him shed a tear. It's like, I mean, not every episode anymore, because I'm beginning to understand, this is the way it is in America. People just end up in bad situations, and they get slaughtered for the insurance money, or maybe they're, I hate to say this, I had to say it, but maybe they're involved in things that they shouldn't be doing. I don't want to be mean, so I'm trying to be sensitive. It shows you that I'm sensitive because it's like, I don't want to make people cry, but, it could happen to you if you don't get out of that lifestyle. That's what I'm saying. Don't be into drugs or, things that you should, God says, keep yourself pure. Keep yourself emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically pure. And, I don't think there's anything more, is there? Spatially pure? I don't know. Well, I wouldn't know about that. Anyway. My brother, it's almost as if it's Billy Joel's The Stranger, where he got involved with this woman. She looked like a good person, variable person, a valuable person on the outside. She just could strip, she could take the pants off of anybody. She's just like, I could strip the pants off of anybody. It's like she was very tan. Like, I'm just kind of wondering if she was like a demonically possessed person like Morgana or something. It's like she was very tan, her eyes were very blue, and her hair was black, and she wore black leather. When I went to hug her, when I met her, like one time, she shrank away from me. It's like, I'm not a lesbian. He's like, oh, that's your sister. I'm like, that's a bit weird. It's like, but my brother was involved with the occult. And I'm sorry to say that maybe several of my older children have become involved with the occult. Why would you do the things that you did? Like, for example, one of my daughters was told, well, you have such beautiful hair, girl. When she was just walking out, she does have beautiful hair, but then she cut it really, really, really short. I'm like, what's up with that? Yeah. Like my oldest son, he's like told, well, you're so intelligent. You're such a good boy. But what has he made out of his life? I mean, he lives with his grandparents, and he's a loser. I'm not sorry for saying that because it's true. At least I earned 3 college degrees. You couldn't even get through 1 degree. Not even an associate's degree, even when I helped you. So, I'm having my say. I'm not sorry.